Frontline Report, Chinese Front, General Popov, July 1944. Our offensive towards Beijing has been stalled by the arrival of significant Japanese reinforcements, estimate equivalent of 3 field armies. The problems are exacerbated by the antiquated road and rail networks in the region, making resupply of heavily engaged frontline troops challenging. We may need to rely on air support to overwhelm their defenses. Recommending a political decision to expand the scope of the conflict and force Japan to abandon its imperial ambitions on the mainland. Frontline Report, Zambezia, General Shatilov, July 1944. The post-colonial democratic government is, plainly speaking, untenable. There is no industry to speak of besides a single chromium mine built by Middle Africa based on the exploitation of expendable labor. The new cabinet is deeply corrupt, where exorbitantly paid ministers openly carry cash funds to family members engaged in research which currently focuses on plans for creating a strategic bomber force. With the arrival of the first shipments of weapons, my staff is organizing the creation of a native infantry unit, although my calls to actually enact conscription have been rejected by President Tembo, as that would undermine morale, by which he means his blatant theft of government funds. And I am not even joking. Zambezia currently focuses on modern air tactics after completing the strategic bombing focus. Instead of, things like an industry or a political reform in order to create a stable democracy, all of which are, of course, completely unimportant to a country ruled by Mainza Tembo and his cronies, whose only interest is in supporting the amount of money that Mainza Tembo and his cronies can extract from the whole thing. So they have no factories, no military factories. They have about 4,000 available men for probably a single infantry division, and that's about it. So no industrial production, none of that sort. Which makes having a single mountain division under General Shatilov quite, frustrating to deal with the absence of any support from the locals for the attempts of Portugal to retake to expand their colonial positions across Central Africa, which probably would lead to the current government to stay in power as local administrators and not care all that much about it anyway. So we'll do our best, but in the end, if Zambezia falls, there's not an awful lot we can do about it. We will see how that goes. Meanwhile, in Japan, the situation certainly has somewhat changed with the arrival of massive amounts of Japanese troops on the front lines and the lack of supply, really, which is the main issue, because we are pushing right against the supply hub of Tianjin, which we cannot take easily, and obviously Beijing itself here. So we will, with that many defenders, there's no way that we can, with that many troops available, there's no way we can launch a potential counterattack easily. That means we may have to reshuffle things a bit. So beginning with the Air Force, we actually do have some additional slots available for bringing more air wings over. So I might actually fetch a few more close air support wings. We've got we've got space for 4 more wings here. So this is all CAS. So let's bring the ones that are not in training. Let's get 4 air wings over and bring them to Jinling, and we'll put them into the Asian theater. There we go. We are assembling a relatively large fleet of naval bomber wings as well over the Sea of Japan, because for a potential conflict with Japan, we simply don't have the navy for that yet. We do have the reasonably modern force by Russian standards in Vladivostok, but we are still waiting for the naval research to catch up with things and to actually begin constructing more effective ships that can actually challenge a Japanese task force in the region. So for now, we are, and we do have to keep the Baltic fleet in Petrograd for a potential conflict if it escalates between the Entente, the International, and in Europe. Finland is still ongoing as well. We haven't been able to make any peace negotiations there. So, which means that after we are escaping the cycle, then I think we'll see what we can. We will see what we can do next. I think the very next thing would be the Eureka Conference in order to try and foster a peace agreement between the International and the Entente and stopping the war in Europe, and which we can then follow up with either Belarus or eventually the Burnt Sun, which would lead us into a direct engagement with Japan. But for now, we'll be holding the line here pretty much, and there is. And we look for opportunities for counterattacks potentially. I'm still hoping for an assault into the northern sector against the Beijing region. And if we can make it through to retaking Beijing, that would actually be a significant success. We're also facing consistent and heavy attacks from all lines against Baoding. And this line is relatively difficult to hold as well. That said, we do have aerial superiority over the North China Plain, and we are starting to do significant damage to enemy troops with bombing campaigns from the amount of support planes that we're amassing. One bigger problem is the mission efficiency as well. So I might actually see if I can. That is probably due to range issues. Yeah, because the problem is that we would need a more northern airport. So what I might do is because these airports are already fully occupied, but once the enemy fighters have been mostly destroyed, we can whittle down the fighter force somewhat and bring more close air support wings to the actual front lines where they can be effective. But for now, we're pretty much on hold there. Where am I? Here we go. So in Zambezia, we are simply looking if we can outmaneuver Portuguese divisions anywhere. But for that, we actually have to figure out where they are. So we're making a move out from the capital. There might be Portuguese troops coming in from the east again, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. There is one division there. So if we can manage to cut that off, that would be ideal. So I think what we'll do is, depending on where they are moving. Okay, they're trying to. All right, we've got two divisions actually. So we'll focus on the defense. They're trying to move in here north. I would push them. Yeah, I might counterattack them southwards. So right now we were coming under attack by the 69th Portuguese Infantry Division. We might push them south and see if we can cut them off near Livingston and destroy them, and then move further west. But we'll have to wait until the combat has ended, which means we'll see if we can cross the river, push them back towards Livingston, and then cut off their retreat in the west, if that's possible. All right. So the exhausted Portuguese are easily defeated. That should force their retreat towards Livingston, and then we will see if we can manage to cut them off, and then force their surrender, which would be the first actual victory in this conflict. Over on the Chinese front, we're simply under constant assault without supply. So for the time being, we'll focus on just eradicating enemy aircraft. I'm going to send additional ground crews in to slightly increase our mission efficiency here. Air detection is not great, but it is what we take what we can get, and I think we'll be grinding down the Japanese relatively effectively. So once that is complete, then we shift more close air support forward and try another assault. Canada would like to have docking rights. I'm going to decline that for now, because First of all, Entente has still clearly imperial ambitions in Africa, and leading to a potential conflict with our interests. And we wish to be neutral in a conflict in Europe. So we do need to look out for that a little bit. We do get additional ace pilots, which is always good. And we're still okay. We can actually run 2 more anti-partisan operations. I'm just going to need to bring additional. I need to concentrate additional divisions in the area. I think I have the armored forces in the region. I do. So let's see if we can. So we will need 4 divisions. No, this one's not here. We will need 4 divisions here. So we're simply going to. Yep. We'll remove that. Just get 4 divisions here, and that should be sufficient to run another operation. In 20 days, we'll have the next USNS activity, and we can't finish that off until all core states are under 5% resistance. So right now, these are the targets. We will get there mostly. I think here running an operation would help, but it's taking a while. So I think with what are we currently on in terms of occupation laws in the Ukrainian area? Is this falling under integratable territories? Is entirely possible. So we are on the integration law, which is actually putting up a lot of compliance. So that should work reasonably well. So there's not an awful lot we can do in order to speed up the resistance decay. So resistance itself is the problem that we need to deal with. Resistance. All right, back to Zambezia. Actually, keep an eye on the Chinese situation as well. Well, we'll see if we have an opportunity for a counterattack, but I think we'll just dig in here for now and let them crush into us. Yeah, let's focus on Zambezia first and see if we can cut off the. Depending on where the Portuguese are retreating to, I'm assuming they're retreating towards Livingston. If we can catch them there, that would be ideal. We've got the Republic of South Africa rather enlarged in the south here, and I don't know if they are going to come up with any potential political activities, so other things to worry about as well. All right, anti-partisan operation is commencing, so that is going to happen, and this is also going to increase compliance, which doesn't help me. I need to get the compliance is high enough. I need to get the resistance down. And I think I have, I'm just going to run this for what it's worth, but I have never seen any of the TOS medals to begin with, so we will see how this works out. Anyway, troops are moving under Shatilov, and we will see if we can encircle the Portuguese here. Actually, I misread that. It says one of the following must be true, not all of the following must be true. So compliance is actually sufficient, which means with the growth in compliance, we actually have enough now to finish the organized resistance. So let's do that. Remove resistance in Ukraine, which is causing us problems all over, and we're finishing off the. Where did it? How long does it take? 10 days. So we're getting this done before the USMS activity triggers the next time, which means that finally the integration and local autonomy in Ukraine is completed, and with that, Kharkiv is a core of the Russian Empire. Persia has declared war on Muscat. Okay. Not sure what they've done. It's probably got something to do with the Strait of Hormuz, if I had to guess. But the situation in Ukraine, which means we've got eastern Ukraine now under Russian control. Western Ukraine is semi-autonomous. And I think overall, with that, we've still got to get the resistance down. But with that, the overall situation in Ukraine is significantly improving. And once that ticks over, that'll be the case. I have 3 military factories. With that sudden influx of controlled territory. What do we need more of? I don't think I need more of anything, to be honest. We've got 24 rubbers, so I might simply construct more mechanized equipment. How much of that do we have in stockpile at this point? 6,800. Actually, in fact, no, we really are good on factories. So there's no need for... I might throw them into military equipment into infantry equipment, just to upgrade the rifles faster. I think that's probably the last thing that is still required in terms of significant upgrades here. And we can throw a few factories as well into the self-propelled artillery to speed up the upgrades of the deployed divisions as well there. All right, so in 10 days, that'll sort out the Ukrainian situation, which means we can once again focus on the 219th Mountain Division. Unfortunately, the Portuguese have not retreated towards Livingston, as we had hoped. So we are going to stop the attacks here and launch the assault instead against the northern group, trying to once again. This isn't going to work either way, because even if because they're just going to retreat north if I'm going from here. This is all rather less than ideal. I had hoped that they would retreat towards Livingston, but they've actually been smart about it, seen the danger, and not gone there. So, well, in that case, we'll retake territory. Any territory that we can gain is good, and we actually have the 1st Zambesian Infantry Division, and that is coming to the aid. We'll see how combat capable they are, but it's coming to our aid. So the other thing we could do is to simply push them back, but the problem is, of course, that there's absolutely no infrastructure or supply. The next supply hub is up north here. So if we were to move there, we would have to invest some work into a railway network that gets these two linked up. So that would be a possible venture that we would try to push toward, simply bypass the enemy divisions, push towards the supply line, and see the supply hub here, and see if we can make that happen. And for that, we are going to need a railway investment. So I'm already going to can I construct railways here? I cannot, by the looks of it, no. So given that they were not formally allied, I can't actually build any railways. So there would not be any supply connection here to the capital, which is all rather disappointing. But we can retake the town of Livingston at least, and see how the air situation is significantly improving. Enemy planes are being destroyed in vast numbers, let me put it that way. And I think we've currently got about 200 Japanese fighters still up in the air, and the losses on the support planes as well are pretty much catastrophic. So we'll give that a bit more time until everything is cleared in the air, and then we can conduct further offensive operations. All right, we've retaken Livingston. I'm just going to expand the front line to this is not like in any way realistic, but I'm going to expand the front line all the way there. And then we will simply see where else we can expand our control over the territory, waiting for the Zambesian Infantry Division to make its way past. We still have resistance. We have resistance problems in Alsace-Lorraine. What's the occupation currently in Does that count as, I think it counts as part of Germany. So yeah, 29%. We've currently got the military governor there. So that is the reasonable resistance target. And that will eventually shrink as it goes. But we are still garrisoning this territory against until there is an actual peace agreement with France and the Entente. But for now, this is what we're working with. At the same time, the resistance in Ukraine is further reducing. And we've got 3 days until the whole situation is cleared up. I'm going to be sending a single mountain division to Shandong as volunteers. This is, well, first of all, because we're dealing with mountainous terrain here. And this will open up, hopefully, the airport in Jinan for Allied air operations, which should allow us to bring more close air support in. And hopefully that can force the breakthrough towards Beijing. So let's get them into the theater. And then we can, once they're there, then I think we can deploy, yeah, for now, not yet, but once the troops arrive, we can deploy additional forces there. There is one enemy division. Oh, that might be an opportunity. There's a Portuguese division that has crossed the river line. So what we'll try is we'll see if we can bypass the Portuguese and get them encircled. We'll see if we can move fast enough here to take that opportunity, while the first Zambesian infantry division is making its way through. We also got some free dockyards, and I think we're still a few days away from the modern heavy ships. So I'm just going to get them to build. It's this one dockyard. We'll leave it. It's fine. We'll leave it for now until we actually have plans for additional ships available. And with that, the Ukrainian situation should be resolved mostly. So yeah, we have the Eastern Ukrainian, formerly Eastern Ukrainian territories integrated into Russia. Western Ukraine has nominal autonomy within the Russian Empire, and I think with that we can soon move the Sixth Army potentially out, if that becomes necessary. We can run some more anti-partisan operations, however. So I'm going to need 4 divisions here. And where was the other one? The other one's in the north. Okay, so another 2 divisions there. And then we can run some anti-partisan operations. But for now, we are trying to escape the cycle and become a torch for liberty in the world, which we are currently fighting in Central Africa with some maneuvers. Of course, we unfortunately have no opportunity to pin enemy troops in any way, because we only have a single division. So it remains to be seen if Shatilov's genius can manage to entrap some Portuguese. After brief Allied operations with support of the Indian Federation, Muscat has announced its total surrender to Persia. Persian forces, with some supporters inside the government, have forced that surrender. And with that, Persia has taken over the northern part in Abu Dhabi, whereas most of the Omani territory is now under Indian control for the time being. And the Strait of Hormuz is in firm control of the Moscow Accord, for what it's worth. 2 more things have happened. The Svyatogor special project is complete, which means we now have finally, after many, many years, completed this project and can begin the construction of the land cruiser, a monstrous machine that should allow us to firmly control or firmly ensure deterrence against any Entente shenanigans on the continent. Meanwhile, in Moscow, the 1944 elections are running because, well, we are a democracy after all. Currently, we've got Nikolai Nekrasov as the head of the office. So we can keep him. He has production efficiency retention, efficiency cap, and factory output. Or we could make a shift towards the social conservatives with Pavel Gronsky, which would give us political power gain, stability, which I don't need, and compliance growth speed, which is nice, but really not that important. We could also get the VPP to become the ruling party. VPP is which ones are they? The All-Russian Patriotic Party, so the Tsar's own social conservatives, which will increase their support over time. So it would be a more conservative shift. But I'm not too keen on the bonuses from Vernadsky. Or we could get Golitsyn into the party, and he would give us political power gain, stability, which I don't need, resources to market, which is neat. Resources to market would be quite nice. 5% political power gain, not quite as good as Gronsky. So that would be a more conservative shift away from the market liberals that are currently having the significant majority, significant majority, or enjoying a significant majority in the parliament. We're actually pretty good with production, to be honest. So shifting away from Nekrasov is a decent idea. I'm kind of leaning towards Golitsyn. That is not going to make an actual shift. It's a one-off shift towards the social conservatives, but it's not an ongoing shift, which is going to reduce the party popularity. That is going to change the VPP into the ruling party, which is going to get them to 22%. So we're going to lose. We're actually going to lose we're going to lose a bit of the political power gain on that, but he is going to compensate for that with an additional 5% political power gain and minus 15% resource to market. God, we have so many resources, we actually really don't need that either. Yeah, we might as well just stay with Nekrasov. None of these is giving me a significant bonus here. So Nekrasov or Golitsyn. Let's shift it up a bit because it's becoming a bit of a one-party state. Let's get the is that the VPP as well? Authoritarian Democrats. That is going to be the SOR. Yeah, and it would be a minority government, which is going to cause all kinds of problems. Now we'll leave it with Nekrasov. We'll have a coalition with the social liberals, and that's how it's simply going to stay, which gives us a very popular party. Nekrasov stays on for now until the next election in 1949, and then we'll see if the tides have shifted a little bit. But now we can begin designing the Sviatogor, the land cruiser. I have never done this before, so let's do this together because I have actually no idea what's coming. This is a monstrosity and a half. Of course, the MIO, Putilovets, is going to get in there. Is this treated as an actual tank unit? We'll find 183 armor. All right, so we could. This is crazy. So we can fit a railway gun, we can fit naval guns, or some monstrous anti-air platforms. Don't really need the anti-air, but the railway gun would be 96 soft attack. But I think the naval guns would probably be the best option here. That is going to cost me 20% reliability, but and some speed. Is giving the most breakthrough, the most piercing. Although either of these would be fine in terms of piercing. The railway gun is a little bit less detrimental in terms of it's a little bit less detrimental in terms of speed and reliability, but putting on naval grade cannons, I'm not entirely sure how big they are, but I'm assuming these are battleship guns effectively. So we're talking like 305 millimeter cannons or something of that figure, or 380s, or whatever large naval gun we have available. We do have 18 inchers, I believe, from the Super Heavy project, so it might as well be these things on a tank. It's quite ridiculous. Because there is a fair amount of enemy tank divisions out there. So let's try that for now. Right. What can we aerial deployment? Okay, this really is a ship, right? This looks almost like it is a land cruiser. They were not joking about this. All right, we're gonna need a radio on it. External features. Do we have anything that is we can put a catapult on this thing to give it recon? That's ridiculous. Or we could stick a helicopter onto it as well. Each of these, this is causing some additional. I think the helicopter would actually be the better choice here. So this thing could come with a helipad for its own scouting. That's ridiculous. Fuel usage, of course, is monstrous. But can we get anything structural features? Anything that improves reliability? Yes. Actually, we might have to trade that out because we only have 3 slots on this, and oh, we can fit additional cannons on this thing. Clearly, clearly that wasn't yet enough to stick a battleship turret onto it. No, we can throw a super heavy howitzer on it as well. What is this thing? Oh my gosh! Or a hull-mounted railway gun, or additional naval cannons. Oh, this is ridiculous. A hull-mounted railway gun. Why not? What else can we put in here? More cannons. We can put a flamethrower on it as well. We do have a problem though with reliability. I think the reliability is going to very rapidly become the. So this is all just armament. Reliability is going to become the limiting factor on this thing. Do I need the helicopter? Let's see. I'll remove it for now. I think radio is good. 60%, 40% breakthrough and 60% defense. Yeah, that's decent. That was external, was? No. So we've got obstacle clearance gear, which adds entrenchment, a smoke generator, which is useless, and a radar. So if this was an anti-air platform, then that would make sense. Okay, don't really need those. What do we have? We got internal ammunition compartment, which is costing more reliability. Stabilizers, 6 breakthrough, not really that useful. Wet ammunition storage, yeah, 15% reliability. Get me some reliability back because we're going to have to get this thing up to, we can't get it below 4 speed, and any upgrades we do to the engine and armor is going to cost reliability. So I think in retrospect, if I was going to do this again in the design phase, every time you have an opportunity to improve reliability, take it, because we don't actually get much in terms of modules that we can use that will actually improve reliability. So this doesn't cost any reliability. So sticking the helipad on this will improve recon. And then it's a question of how much stuff can you stick, how many guns can you stick into it before reliability becomes an issue, basically. Of course, Putilovets is not really helping that much here either, because it's taking hits on speed and reliability, but it's the only design MIO that I have that is actually doing significant benefits here. So, I mean, we could, it wouldn't really, none of this would really. This is out of question anyway. None of this would give me any benefits. This is for mass production. This is just all for no. This is really and the general purpose designer is not available. So no, it's the only one we can take. All right. So far we've got the naval guns in here. Okay, do we want to trade that out against because that's 20% reliability. I could trade that out for the railway guns, but because honestly, but I do like the heart attack. And then the railway gun is a secondary. And then we can probably fit a third gun in unless that drops speed down too much. So what do we have? We could just put a cannon on it. An assault gun, a flamethrower, or a light anti-aircraft battery. I might actually flamethrower doesn't actually do an awful lot. The assault gun would be better, but that is costing 10% reliability. We could put a regular high velocity cannon on it, or a medium cannon, or the anti-aircraft battery as well, which doesn't cost. Okay, the AA battery doesn't cost any reliability, so that's a no-brainer. And okay, which means I could just basically stuff this with anti-aircraft batteries without losing any further reliabilities. Okay, that's actually pretty neat. So, I can effectively turn this into an anti-aircraft turtle. 186 air attack. Or I could, I'm at 85. I can probably trade that out for one more item that gives me a bit more attack. Could get the medium cannon in, and then we can't do this because we'll have to boost the engine up. Nope. There we go. So that's a 78% reliability. Okay, so 78% reliability. We can compensate to that with maintenance with a maintenance company. How much actually can we? Let's have a quick look on the support company. We do have maintenance, but I would need to upgrade that a little bit. We could do armored maintenance as well. So that's a 5% reliability bonus. This is only a 2% reliability bonus. This one increases it by. No, the regular one is better it's better in terms of reliability. So regular maintenance company. So that'd be 10. That would be 15. That would be 15. And that would be eventually 20. Yeah. So we could get 20 reliability up, which brings us basically back up to 100% if we put the maintenance company in. So I'm pretty happy with that. So if we've got this Viatogor with a pedestrian speed of 4 kilometers. I don't think there's any other model. No. We have 231 soft attack, 104 hard attack, 500 piercing. Just as ridiculous. 183 armor, 100 breakthrough, and 140 air attack. This thing is absolutely ridiculous. And we have 100% discount on the design, so I don't even need to spend any XP on it. Okay, how many of these can I build and where can I put it? Oh yeah, these aren't cheap. So, but I have the resources. Okay, so this is basically the same pattern as the as the railway gun. So we're going to put that, we're going to prioritize that up top. Where did it go here? We'll just get the, we'll redirect the we'll redirect some from the infantry equipment over there, and then it goes back to the tanks. And we are running a little short on tungsten now. Where are we? On the super heavy railway guns. So we're just making 2 more of these. We probably just need to, let's make 2 more of these, and then we're pretty much done with that. But let's make Svyatogorsk, and then the next question would come. 4 per year. Okay, we're going to have to get the production efficiency up here. 150 steel. This is insane. Then the next question comes, where can we put it? So let's have a look. Is this a line battalion item? No, it isn't. It's probably going to be a support company, is it? So if we were to, So effectively what we can do is we can switch out the army scouts for the land cruisers. Add these things in, and they're relatively ridiculous. But then again, they're support companies, so they scale on company size, which means, we'll add that in. We'll add that in. Actually, let's see what it looks like. So let's duplicate this, and that would be the 3rd iteration of the Guards Tank Division, and we would replace that with the land cruisers. It's not quite having the problem is it's making these very slow. So it's first of all, it's bringing it to 4 kilometers, which we knew it was, and it's basically making this division useless anywhere that isn't flat, isn't plain area. So rivers, no. Forests, no. Hills, mountains, urban, jungle, marshes, no. So this would basically make this division completely useless unless we're fighting in open terrain, which means this actually needs to get a separate icon. So that's a specialized division, which is so what we can do is we can compare it to compare the changes. So what do we get for the price we pay? And we might actually have to switch our logistics over for maintenance, just to make sure that these things don't fall apart, because they're expensive. They're expensive to make, let me put it that way. Good grief. How many do we need actually? Just 1. Okay. It might not actually be, might not be that much of a problem. We might actually leave logistics in. What's the supply? Supply use is, we might have to leave logistics in. So we're losing a whole lot of benefits on the, and this is not just due to alternatively, actually, what we could do is we could leave the army scouts in and replace the flame tanks with that thing. What would that look like? I mean, we're still getting, we're getting some bonuses from the army scouts, but it's not massive. It counters things a little bit. I think that might actually be the better flip. So let's do it this way. So we're looking at I can't even see what the improvement is here. Okay, there we go. 13 extra HP, 2 extra org, 8 extra recon, 200 soft attack, 100 hard attack, 140 air attack, 56 breakthrough and 7.6 to armor, and 176 to piercing. My gosh. So that's a very special division. Very, very terrain bound, but we might end up making a few of those we might change some of the light tank divisions out into that eventually. but we'll see what we come up with. Okay, so we have advanced. So the biggest question now is, can we encircle the enemy division? And before they notice what's going on, Kherson is now integrated as well, and that means we only have a few. Yeah, we only have a few anti-partisan things left, but the rest of the occupation problems. Yeah, this will go down. This will go down relatively quickly once the resistance goes down. Then this will eventually all become territory of Russia proper. Air situation over China has pretty much changed to the point that I think the enemy fighter force is no longer combat effective, and it shows because we're starting to do massive damage from the air to enemy divisions on the ground. So these attacks are costly on their side because they are taking a fair amount of damage. And as soon as we have our troops available in Shandong, then we can send additional aircraft there as well. So for now, let's see if we can complete the encirclement of the first Portuguese division here. And then we might have to push back a bit from Lukasa because there's another division coming in here. But I might try to let them run a little closer and see if we can lure them into the foothills here and then cut them off. All right. So we've got the 61st Portuguese Infantry Division. We obviously have to attack here across bridges, unfortunately, but they have nowhere to go. They're encircled, which means that this will be destroyed. There are additional troops coming in from the north trying to relieve them. That is very unfortunate. So we are engaged now in multiple combat, which means we are going to have to defend first against and beat back the Portuguese assault in the north, hoping that the division in the south here is not going anywhere in the meantime. Okay, beaten back. So now let's get back to destroying it, and then we'll move eastwards, ready for entrapping the enemy there. Friendly division is in the south, not helping. Of course, the locals aren't particularly interested in getting their hands dirty just yet. But I think we can take down this division here. They are running low on supply at this point, and their organization is dropping rapidly, despite the unfavorable attack pattern that we're launching. But Shatilov knows what he's doing. And I think we're going to be able to take care of this reasonably quickly, and then shift our focus east. Okay, there we go. One Portuguese division dealt with. That's 11,000 Portuguese who surrendered, and we'll hand them over to the locals. And then we'll make our way east, looking to see if we're able to entrap one of the divisions on the eastern side, or alternatively we could simply push them back again once they're making their way too close to the capital. But I don't think we have additional options here. There was a second division here, so we might actually try to make a move around that as well. But for now, I'm going to return to the capital, let the mountain divisions rest a little bit, and then plan the next action. Because we have troops in China now, which means that we should have access to the Jinan Air Base. Yep, we have one additional mountain division here, which we are going to add to who's leading here, Popov or Govorov. We might actually assign it to Govorov's troops for now. So let's get that. Can I merge these? No, I can't actually. Okay, that means I'm gonna get someone else to do it. Let's get Letvitov here, and we'll see what we do with See what we do with these mountaineers. Actually, we have lost a bit of ground here, and we're coming under increased pressure. That, however, may give us an opportunity for a potential counterattack into the foothills in order to cut off the divisions that have broken through. So let's get them. Let's get the mountain division in place, and we'll see if we can manage to. And we'll actually get this division here as well, and we'll see if we can manage to entrap these troops here, because this costs us supply in the north, which means the mountaineers do need to take the railway as quickly as possible in order to get to the front lines. But that should also mean that I now have access to I have now access to the airport, which means I can bring the close air support wings over. And how much do we have? We've got 1,200. We can bring all the wings over now and focus our aircraft on the air zone, which means we have a much better mission efficiency. And I think we're now going to have sufficient. We got five close air support wings in the Theater 6, I think, if we include this one. So that should be sufficient to put significant pain on. Yeah, the losses are absolutely mounting here from enemy divisions. But that said, we do need to be careful that we're not losing the forward positions here, and we are getting the mountain divisions into place to make that happen. Mexico City has fallen, and the United States are invading Mexico. I didn't even pay attention to that. Yeah, so the Entente is definitely on the warpath and is making moves. Mexico was it was a dictatorship. So the United States, which is technically a social democratic, technically a democracy, has decided that Mexico needed to be invaded. The colonialism in the Entente is still strong, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, in Africa, enemy troops are now there, which means we'll move south and see if we can cut them off and destroy them. So that's the plan. But we do need to let these troops rest a little bit as well. We'll give them. They've moved south. Okay, never mind. We'll move towards the capital. We'll defend there. Let the mountain divisions rest up, and then see if we can find an angle that we can use to surround and defeat them without losing access to the capital itself. The roots of Russia have always been vested in idealism. Our nation has gone through multiple, almost mortal threats, and at each point the fall into the abyss was so close it is difficult to believe that we did not falter. Many lost faith in the Russian ideas during the past decades, going so far as to argue that we were in an unbreakable cycle, a peasant nation with authoritarian institutions incapable of escaping the inevitable drift towards Tsarist autocracy, albeit in many new forms from communism to svobodism. But Russia has no special path. Russia has no divinely ordained doom or purpose. Russia is a nation of peoples like any other. We are not predisposed towards tyranny any more than the French, the nation that invented the concept of absolute monarchy. Is it true that we have our own set of peculiar, unique conditions, but does not every nation have these? Now, on this historical day, it is our task to define the future of much of Europe. We cannot fall into exceptionalism and dreaming at such a moment. Democracy is only built through hard work and strong faith in the future, and this task is never done. Let us be an example, a torch to all the world. That was the chairman minister on the 20th of August 1944. And there is only one undoubted happiness in life: to live for others. So we now should have the torch for the world, which is give us minus 15% consumer goods factories and 5% compliance speed. And now, I believe, this has unlocked a few more things that we can do. So we can get down to limited conscription, which is something I want to do. The pension system, which definitely something that needs to be done, and to caring for the unfortunate with a social support system. And then from there we can go for building up a better Europe. But before that, there's still a fair amount of things actually that can be done around here. But before we do that, we'll have to get the Eureka conference underway and see if we can at least put a stop to the fighting between the International and the Entente. And eventually we might have to have a chat with the Finns as well and see what's going on there. Right now, it is a national populist dictatorship. And if there is no peace agreement, at some point we may be forced to overthrow this government and force peace onto them. So for now, we're trying to stop wars as much as possible on diplomatic means. So after the Eureka conference, we might be looking at the burnt sun. We also still have to do the Belarusian scenario as well as the others. So this might still take a little bit of time. In the meantime, we're fighting with what forces we have available, where enemy armored breakthroughs are beginning to become quite rapid. So we do have to, we may have to fall back from the northern positions, I think, actually, because we're very much cut off from our supply lines at this point, and we're running risk of becoming encircled. So I think what we'll do is here, we'll begin to fall back to more defensible positions where we actually have supply, and which we can use to regroup and to cut off the enemy, while at the same time our aircraft are doing an absolute number on them in the air. So that's that. Also, we still have 4 close air support wings. So I think another thing that we can do, we can trade. I'll bring them closer. So where do we have 1, 2, 3, 4? Why are they not training? They should have been exercising. Where are they currently? They're over in Moscow. So let's bring them a little closer. Where do we have a closer airbase? Can bring them over to Vladivostok for now, and continue training. I think we've got two CAS wings in Vladivostok, so we can begin trading out a few of the fighter wings for close air support. Now that we have the airport capacity in the south here to bring the additional planes in. And with that, I think we can crush the enemy, but it is a hard fight because look at the numbers. It's crazy. They have, what is this? 68, that's like 100 Japanese divisions on the lines here. So they have definitely brought most of their troops onto the front lines after the defeat in the south. So this war is still, this battle is still ongoing for quite a while. And we are getting close to designing a few more modern ships, but until these are built, I think we cannot easily challenge Japan in the air, but maybe we can force a white peace onto them.